Aloha. Mahalo. Thanks for watching as we talk about OKO grab art number 1. Once again, this is a front, my left side, but their right hand lapel grab. As they're grabbing, what are we worried about? The catalyst is the grab, but I'm looking for, they're going to be grabbing with the right. I'm looking for this left hand, right? They're not just going to grab you with the hand. There's going to be something backing it up. So with that, as they grab, I need to respond. So in the technique, what we're going to do is we're going to grab their forearm, pressing on the radial nerve, at the radial nerve head by the elbow. I'm going to naturally step back and then push their arm down and across, canceling their height. In other words, if I'm the opponent I've grabbed, you push on my radial nerve, and if I let go, you're going to push down and across, what is called canceling my height and my width. Once again, if I just press it down, what is the unintended consequence? Could be a headbutt. I want to cancel height, width, and depth when I can, so striking the radial nerve, coming down and across still allows the kick towards the groin and the follow-up. So once again, I'm going to pin, step across as I step back, kick, and as I land, I'm going to choose where I land. If I step back a little bit, the attacker's towards 12 in front of me, what we would call the green zone. I am going to grab, pull across, step back to create distance, making sure I cancel the second arm, kick. I'm going to choose where to land as I step with that hammer fist, and then follow up with the combination strikes. Once again, slowly going to press and bring across as I create distance. Going to kick, hammer, and respond. Once again, very simple technique. The first technique of the grab art. I actually enjoyed portions of this. Is very reminiscent to some early parts in American Kempo. But with that, stay tuned as we discuss the lessons. As we start discussing lessons, concepts, and principles, we have several things that are here containing grab art number 1. We have up, out, back, and down. In other words, when executing a kick, I'm going to lift my knee, push the kick out. There's the out. There's the back coming back to the original position. Then I have my choice of where I land or down. In other words, if I back up, from the side view, I'm going to go up, out, back, and then down, in this case behind me. Or if I wanted to go forward, up, out, back, and down. This allows me to choose whether to follow up with a secondary kick, or in fact to choose to land in front of or behind my opponent. That is the up, the out, the back, and the down. Second thing we have is pressure points. So they're are using the radial nerve head right near our elbow. And it's actually pretty easy to find for yourself. You're just going to use your thumb about an inch below your elbow joint, and if you press in and down, you're going to feel it. The third thing that we're going to talk about actually today is height, width, and depth equals time. In other words, we each have dimensions to ourselves. There's height, there's width, and if I step back, there's depth. Our goal is to manipulate our opponent's height, width, and depth to give us time. In other words, in grab art number 1, once we have pressed on the radial nerve, if we just press down, you're just getting a difference in height and a little bit in depth. But if I press down and across, what also did cancel? My rear hand. If I go diagonally down and across, I've affected height, I've affected width, and I've canceled the second weapon. We have a formula that we call height, width, and depth equals time. In other words, if I can cancel height, width, and depth at the same time, it gives me time to respond. So, for instance, part of this includes what we call a negative body posture. The posture that we want to put our opponents in to cancel, especially their second weapons. If I just push their arm down, I haven't canceled much except for their arm. The second hand is still in play. If I push down and across, now I've affected height and width at the same time. That is what we call a double negative body posture. These would be single negative body postures, but when we combine two or more height, width, and depth, this is a double negative, this is a double negative, this is double negative, this is double negative. Basically, think of corkscrewing your opponent into the ground. That is the idea of negative body posture, which gives us time. The fourth thing I really want to talk about is what's called backup mass and marriage of gravity. For instance, I'm going to grab this stick. And imagine this is the bumper on a truck. If I am coming at you at speed, would you rather get hit with just the stick? Or do you want to get hit with the truck that is behind the stick? Let me do this from the side for your observation. Here's the bumper. If I am coming towards an object, do you just want to get hit with the bumper? Or would you rather hit with the truck and the bumper? That is what we call backup mass. I'm a large guy, I'm a big guy, just like GGM. We want to hit with our mass to increase our force, right? So after we kick and I step forward to the corner of the triangle to land, I'm not going to land and then strike. Separating my power and the direction that I'm going to go into. Instead, after I kick, I'm going to strike as I land. That's called backup mass, also using what's called marriage of gravity. I'm going to use gravity to my benefit. Gravity sucks, as we say. Might as well use it to our advantage. When a 230-pound guy like me lands with his front foot forward, I can really use gravity sucking me down towards the ground, allowing my knees to bend, and stepping into that strike. Once again, grab art number one. Grab, push across, kick as I land. Notice that cross-hand hammer lands as I do. Then I can follow up with strikes. One thing I noticed, and maybe GGM can comment on this, is it seems in grab art 1 and grab art 2, the follow-up strikes are at the discretion of the practitioner. There are some written, but it seems as though many Kaju enthusiasts use kind of their favorite combination. The one that you guys have seen me use here was taught to me many years ago called Chinese boxing hands. Back fist, either punch or a palm heel, uppercut, back fist or shuto strike, followed by, you can start the process over again. And this is called Chinese boxing hands. That's what I would probably default to. But it's interesting to see that GGM also has somewhat of his favorite combination of strikes following grab art 1 and grab art 2. With that, I hope, especially for you Sifu and your instructors, that these lessons, concepts, and principles can be passed down to your students for not only memorization, but for them to understand pressure points, negative body posture, canceling height, width, and depth, up, out, back, and down with a kick. These are simple lessons to pass on to your students. With that, that's been grab art number 1. Sweet, simple, and to the point, as is Kaju. Aloha and mahalo.